Okay guys, this is not your average stodgy sweet and sour chicken. This is a beautifully light and tangy Thai home style sweet and sour. Okay guys, so we have done sweet and sour chicken on my channel before. We did a Chinese version, but this is a home style Thai version. It's super light and fragrant, and there's a few little sneaky vegetables in here that you might not think of to put in a stir fry, but my mum does it, so it's legit. Okay, so first up we are going to go with some cucumber. That's right, we're going to put cucumber in a stir fry. You guys have to trust me on this. It soaks up the sauce beautifully, still has a lovely crunch. Try it and let me know if you like it. Alright, so the important thing for me is that with stir fries you really need to get the chopping all down pat. The chopping makes a big difference, the size that you cut the vegetable and also the way you cut it. So with the cucumber, the inside is very watery where the seeds are. I don't want that bit because I don't want a watery stir fry. So you need to just slice and move your cucumber around, and then I'm going to cut off the seed part, put that away. Okay, so you can see we've got a little pile of seeds here, which we don't want. And now these other pieces, I just want to slice them a little smaller. And now pineapple. Now this is a little bit controversial. I know a lot of people don't like pineapple or fruit in their stir fry. That's okay, you can leave the pineapple out, it's an optional. But what isn't optional is that if you're going to use pineapple, it really needs to be fresh. I find the tin pineapple is too sweet, it disintegrates, it's not good. So either go with fresh pineapple or none at all. And then here we go with another non-conventional stir fry ingredient, but my mum always puts tomato in her sweet and sour, and it's the way that I've always had it, so I love it. Okay, so I just want to slice this into nice little wedges. Okay, so I'm just going to put that over to the side here. And now for some capsicum. So again, with the slicing technique on this capsicum, I'm just going to slice the sides off, missing all of those seeds. And then I want some irregular pieces. I want each little piece to be a bit unique in shape. Similar size to your tomato, pineapple and cucumber. And now some onion. I like some wedges here. I find that when the wedges first hit the pan, they kind of get a nice little charriness on the outside because they're in bigger clumps, and then they'll kind of separate as they stir fry. And then our last little bit of chopping is for some spring onion. So the pale parts get fairly finely chopped, and then for my lovely bright green parts, I like to have little battens of those. So pop the pale part of your spring onion over with your onion because they'll go in together. And then these green parts, I'll save those just to add at the end. And one final note on chopping, and then I promise I will zip it about the chopping, but you want your chicken pieces for this to be very small as well, similar size to the vegetables that you've chopped. And I'm using chicken thigh because I'm a thigh and legs kind of girl. I like how juicy it stays in the stir fry, but you can use chicken breast as well if you like. And now for the stir fry sauce. It is so super simple, it almost belies belief that it will produce something really amazing and complex, but it will, trust me. So we're going to start out with some fish sauce, and a lot of you guys have written in and said to me, the fish sauce that you buy is really strong, it has a strong flavor and smell. So can I suggest when you're buying your fish sauce, one, look at the ingredients. It really should only be fish, salt, maybe some water. You don't want any added sugar, any other weird sodium benzoate or kind of ingredients you don't know what they are. Don't go for those ones. And also look for the color. It should be a light color similar to this, very clear. If it's really dark, like soy sauce kind of color dark, then it's probably a really old bottle, which it's still fine to use. It's just gonna have a stronger flavor. So there you go, a couple of tips for buying fish sauce if you find it a little strong and intense. Fish sauce into my bowl, and I want some white vinegar, just plain old white vinegar, and some sugar, and some cornstarch. I'm going to put the cornstarch straight into my sauce here rather than mixing it with some water because I don't want to add any extra liquid. I can just dissolve it into this. Okay, and that's it. And this is what your bench top should look like before you start to stir fry. Everything organized, all your vegetables chopped, ready to go before you start cranking the heat. Okay, so here in the wok, we are going to do a couple of things that are going to help our stir fry maintain its intensity, keep that meat really nice and juicy without everything stewing. I've got lots of little tips here. So the first tip is get your wok really hot. Now if you don't have a wok, just a really large frying pan is good. If it's too small, then you'll find everything will stew, and that's when you get a very insipid kind of stir fry. So large pan or wok, and I'm just waiting for that smoke. So now I'm going to add my oil and just swirl that around a little. Now in goes my garlic, and straight away the onion and the spring onion. Toss it around, and I want to quickly add in my chicken before that garlic burns, and then straight away spread all of that chicken out because I want as much chicken coming into contact with the hot pan as possible. And now here's where we leave the chicken for a little bit to get a nice little bit of crust on the outside. Just a minute or so. Okay, now I want to toss this through, and you can see just how much steam is escaping here, and that's liquid that's evaporating rather than liquid that's condensing down, causing our meat to stew and everything to become very insipid. One of the key things here when you're stir frying. Okay, so what I'm looking for here is some of that nice color in the chicken, a little bit of char in that onion. The chicken is almost cooked, so I'm going to go in with my vegetables now. Capsicum first. Just toss that through a couple of times, and now the rest of our vegetables. Pile those in. And now things are really starting to look so colorful and delicious. I love this part. So just give these vegetables like half a minute, toss them around a little bit. Just want to take some of that crunchy edge off the cucumber, and I want a little bit of color on that pineapple. Okay guys, so have a look here. You can see there's barely any liquid in the bottom of my pan because we've been able to let most of it evaporate out, which has allowed us to brown our chicken and vegetables rather than having them soaking in the liquid. And now here is where we want the liquid. Now we're going to add our stir fry sauce, and I really want to wait for this to bubble up and start to get nice and thick. Now toss all of this together, keep that sauce bubbling until you get a really thick, glossy coating on everything in that pan. Okay, this is looking amazing. The tomato has broken down a little bit into the sauce and stained it just a little bit red. Everything is looking glossy and beautiful. I'm going to add in my spring onion. And that's it, time to serve it up. So there you go guys, a very simple stir fry, which means all those little tips and techniques are really important and they'll make a huge difference. And the cucumber, I can't wait for you guys to try the cucumber. Trust me, it's so good. Hear how it's a little bit crunchy still? Well, it soaks up all the sauce. I think even my mum would be happy with this one. Mine's better though. If you've got any comments or questions, pop them below. And if you enjoyed the video, why not hit that subscribe button plus the little bell one, and that way you'll get notified every time I release a new video. Thanks guys.